On this episode, we help you get ready for your trip with the ultimate packing guide. Today is August 25th, 2023. This is episode 594 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at MainSTMagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, you did not get those advanced dining reservations that you were hoping you would get. Do not worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
So today we are kind of continuing, I feel like, our little streak we've got going on where we talked about last time bringing the magic home. Now we're going to talk about packing for Disney.
Yeah, this will kind of be like a new series about preparing to go to Disney.
Okay.
So we're going to start with here. We'll have some things in the future, like how you pick your hotel, how you save money before your trip, things to watch before you go, certain movies and all. So this will kind of kick it off. And the first one, we haven't done this in several years, about what to pack for your trip. And I know a lot of this seems obvious, and I'll almost take from a page of my brother's playbook, which is, a lot of this is basic. This is easy knowledge, but not everybody implements this and not everybody packs this or does this. So we're hoping we can give you some additional tips and tricks as you plan, prepare, and get all packed for your Disney or, Universal trip or whatever it may be. So first, we can start with some of the obvious, and we're not going to dive deep into all of this, but, you're going to want to make sure you have all your travel information ready, of course.
Yeah, like if you booked through Main Street Magic Travel. Yeah.
So, again, have everything, whether it's printed out, whether, we're talking in, boarding, most stuff is digital now, but boarding passes, make sure everything is either linked to your phone or you have a printed version, your confirmation emails and all of those things for your resort. If you've gotten a car service, any of those types of things, just make sure that they're all packed neat in one place. You're going to want to have your magic bands if you have some already, or you pre-ordered and they were, shipped direct to your home.
That's always fun.
Yeah. So, and not only that, but part of that pre-packing process is to make sure they're charged.
I just started to say, because now you have to have all these chargers.
Yeah. So if you got a Magic Band Plus, make sure they're charged before you go.
And you want a Magic Band Plus. And at least one of the family members, right? Because you get the picture on Tron at Magic Kingdom. Because Chuck had to get one because he was never getting his
Is that what it was?
Pictures. Yeah, that's why we bought him one.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's been the scenario. But it's fun to have a Magic Band Plus. They vibrate. They light up if you stay for fireworks. So, just... And I know some people charge them. Jeremy will do it a couple of days prior. I always like to make sure it's being done the night before, because I feel like they die quick. I could be wrong.
At least your travel day band.
Yeah.
The 100%. One that you're going to use as soon as you get there. Yeah. And you can get some great little USB hubs off of Amazon, so you can charge multiple at a time if you have multiple, Magic Band Pluses. So 100%. That's something good to do. Of course, this is going to sound silly. It's very obvious. Make sure you have your wallet, your purse, whatever it is, with your credit cards, your debit cards, your ID,
Jeremy,
your passport.
Why do you say this?
What? Because I forgot my wallet the one time. I did. We left, but that's the thing. We left, it might be one of those things where a lot of times on that travel day, if you didn't plan properly and sometimes things aren't just set out right in front of your face, you forget them.
Oh, 100%.
Now, normally the night before we leave, we've obviously already packed and everything. I will take my wallet. I will take my keys. I'll take my sunglasses. I'll take the hat, my Magic Band, everything that I'm going to need on my person the next morning, I'll put in one area. And I didn't this one time and completely forgot my wallet.
You forgotten your MacBook.
We had to turn around. I forgot my MacBook. And we had to turn around. And
well, thank God we could.
Well, it's easy for us to turn around.
Well,
but if you're
right.
sitting in the airport or
Right.
getting ready to check in, I mean, that might be a little bit difficult. So make sure you have those things. In addition to your credit cards and debit cards, if you have pre-purchased any sort of gift cards, go ahead and make sure that you have those with you.
And all registered.
Yeah. And that's the most important part, is registering them at DisneyGiftCards.com, because if you do forget them or you lose them while you're there, all is not lost. You can purchase another card, or if you have a spare empty card or even a card that still has money on it, you can go online and transfer that balance over. But have all that together. Also, now, whether you want to carry this with you or you want to get some when you're there, have cash.
Absolutely, because not only with gift cards, sometimes Disney IT is a little wonky, and they have gone down before where you can't use a gift card. Usually they still will be able to take credit, but we've even seen unfortunately seen where they can't do anything but cash.
Yeah, cash only. And a lot of times this is at the festivals.
So
you're heading all of a sudden down to Food and Wine next month, and you're all excited. You got these preloaded gift cards ready to go, and you got a budget and got all this. You could show up and the gift and credit card and everything is down, and they're taking cash only, and then you don't have any.
And then some will actually be where they can take credit, but if you've got some cash, they'll be like, we can only take cash, and then it might be a really shorter line because hardly anybody has cash.
Yeah. So just I would have some backup cash in general. And then we're not going to give you a long bullet list of what to bring if you have a baby or a toddler.
Because you know what to bring.
you know what to pack in your baby bag and your diaper bag. What toiletries and overnight things that you need. Just make sure that that's all organized and ready to go, and that, again, you haven't missed anything there. But I don't think there's any need for us to run through an entire line of those. So our first two things are going to be about the Florida essentials, and we've done 2 recent episodes on those, so we don't need to spend a ton of time. But if you have not listened to episode 564 about beating the heat in Central Florida, it is a must. This is another one where, yes, some of these things seem obvious, but if this is your first time visiting Central Florida, especially in just say the summer, spring, fall, sometimes winter,
depending,
you may not be ready for this.
It's so funny because so many people tell me all the time, I'm not going in summer, and I completely get it. And when we say these things again, honestly, I mean, it's to remind you, because like we have things of these and we forget them.
Oh, we still forget things. Yeah.
Like the cooling towels. There's multiple times where I've forgotten them. Or there's times where I'm really hot and I'm like, there's one in my bag, Rhonda. Just go wet it and put it on you.
But even with all that, that's a reason to pack early.
Yes.
I mean, you see people post in groups, and it's almost like tongue in cheek, or they're trying to be funny, but they're really not. And they're like, I've got 60 days to my trip. Is it too early to pack?
No,
it's not for some things. Like, here's the thing, if you've purchased, just say, cooling towels off of Amazon,
right,
specifically to go to Disney, and it's 30 days before your trip, 60 days before your trip, and you don't have any use for cooling towels at home where you live, go ahead and have a staging area that 100%. You can set in your house to start putting these things aside. Create a checklist, and as you start to put items aside,
that's what Kaylin
check
does.
them off. Yeah. And that's what we do a whole week leading up. We'll get back to kind of the beating the heat part, but as soon as I remember something, because again, do as we say, not as we do often. We're just so used to kind of what we need. And if we forget it, it's okay. I mean, most of the time. But, we have a portable hamper, a folding hamper. And as soon as I remember, I think about, we're going to need the hamper. It could be 2 weeks before, and I'm like, I'm going to go set it on the table where we start to put things. My homecoming squirt bottle, refill bottle. As soon as I remember, I'm like, you know what? It's a week ahead of time. It's okay. I'm going to set it on there. But let's get back to some of the beating the heat things, like with the Mister fans are great, right? The spray fans, right?
Yeah, because we got one of those too that I forget, which is super cool because usually the one I bought from Disney actually has a nice big bottom that you can take a frozen bottle in, and it starts to melt, and you can pour that water into once it melts the bottom of it, and then there's a fan on it that has batteries in it, and you turn it on.
Fill it with ice.
Yeah.
Fill it with ice from the ice machine
because
by your room.
It'll unfortunately melt very quickly.
It will, but at least you start with something very, very cold.
Yes.
And then portable fans, stroller fans for your kids. I know, you hopefully you know that you would need one for babies or infants that are in a stroller. Get something that is rechargeable via USB or an outlet. You don't want to have to deal with batteries. Honestly, you don't really want to have to deal with packing a bunch of batteries, with having to carry extra in your park bag, change them throughout the day. Go ahead and get rechargeable ones. They make on Amazon that our friend Michael had told us about, these amazing belt clip fans that actually clip on your belt, and they will blow air up under your shirt.
Do you have any of those anymore?
No.
You don't have any?
No, I've misplaced all of them.
Okay.
So yeah, but they really do a wonderful job. Some people like the neck fans. Put your hair up if you have long hair, it can get stuck in the neck fan. Yeah. They can also pinch your neck. Yeah, heck, you know what? You can buy an old school fan. The what would you call those ones? The accordion. Would you call it an accordion fan?
Like
the Haunted Mansion one you got? How much was that?
$11.
So you can
20% discount.
Yeah. But seriously, packing one of those in your park bag for a quick cool down and, waving that in your face.
I use it.
It actually works.
It does.
And then refillable water bottles for the park. Whatever you like, something insulated is a must. I've had to start, when I walk in the morning, I've had to start carrying a water bottle with me because it's so hot, and usually I don't like carrying something. I would grab a water bottle from our fridge, and I would get half a mile and it was warm. So I'm like, that's not working. So then I grabbed one of the kids' old lunch water bottles that was made of plastic. I filled it with ice. The ice was melted within a half mile, and then a half mile later in my walk, it was warm water.
Oh, wow.
So once I moved to, it's actually it's the Disney Pets one, the dogs one that I got from Lacey. Or the cats, it might be. It's insulated, it's metal.
It's pink.
It's pink, it's beautiful. I can fill it about halfway with ice, the rest with water, and it stays cold throughout my entire 5 mile walk.
And does all the ice melt?
It does by the very end. So the first day I filled it to the top with ice, which means that it displaced a lot of water. So by the time I was done drinking the water, it was not a lot of water, and then I had this thing full of ice that wouldn't melt because it was so cold. So I figured out about a third of the way or half of the way, I have cold water, I have enough water, and then by the end, there's not so much ice, it will start to melt.
Nice.
But make sure that you have something like that. This is really good if you can get ones that maybe have a clip on them that you can clip to your park bag, or if you have a park bag that has side pockets or something like that we used to do.
Yep.
You can go ahead and slip them in there so you're not having to hold it the whole time, but definite must.
And obviously number one is sunscreen.
Yeah.
I even put that stuff on before I even leave the room. If I'm getting ready here, I put it on before I leave the house. Mainly because of all my tattoos now. I'm just trying to keep them, but as I also get older, to keep from hopefully sun cancer or whatever they call it.
And however much sunscreen you think you need, I would pack twice as much.
I would too, just because depending on who you're traveling with.
Yeah.
We've definitely traveled with families before where they forgot it, but we had it. Then we forgot it. They had it. So, it's just, and then you're never, depending on where I guess you live, you're never going to not need it.
Right.
You're never not going to not want it, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you do that. The next big Florida essential is the rain. And if you go to episode 548 recently, we do being prepared for rainy days in Disney. And again, a quick just bullet point almost, your ponchos or raincoats, get those from Amazon or get disposable ponchos, are so much better than spending a bunch on the Disney ones.
Disney. Oh, I love mine.
I do love the Disney ones. But
I love it. I just carry, you ladies, and because I understand.
You're taking rain jacket. I'm talking ponchos. Disposable ponchos.
Sorry.
Don't spend the money on the Disney ponchos. Get disposable.
Correct.
But if you want a good rain jacket, the Disney ones are wonderful.
And I love mine, and I know even a guy wouldn't really have one, I guess. But, it's so nice because mine, I can just, on my backpack, kind of pull it through, and it just doesn't bother me. It's hanging on, and it's great. I love it.
It'll be a must. An umbrella. Possibly, again, look on Amazon for one of the ones that are more like a portable foldable umbrella that doesn't take up a ton of space. Your stroller rain cover. You know, back to beat the heat, you want a stroller shade, so you could actually double with a rain cover, you know, and kind of kill two birds with one stone. Ziploc bags, large Ziploc bags for that poncho, for maybe some clothes that get wet, something like that throughout the day. That way they're not just getting wet all over the inside of your park bag. And then, I mean, you could bring a towel. You could have a small towel or something packed that you want to bring in your park bag just to, you know,
I'm like, what are you going to do?
Dry yourself off.
Seriously, wipe off a seat when you want to sit down
You
after
could do
it
that
rains.
too. Yeah, you could do that too. So let's move on from those two, because we did cover those much more extensively in the last two episodes. And let's talk about clothing and some of the essentials for clothing. Now, again, this probably seems pretty common sense, but hopefully we can give you a couple extra tips. What should you do? Really, now, pack ahead of time, you know, be prepared. But what should you still be looking at up until the day before you leave?
The weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because not even up until the day you leave, but every day you're gone and there. I mean, it's crazy because, like, there'll be a percentage of chance of rain, like, when you right before you leave, like 3 days after you've gotten to Disney, and all of it, and like a major like 60% chance, and you're like, man. And day of, it's like, oh, it's 40, 30, and usually if it's anything below that 50% in Florida, you might get a little bit of rain, you might get sprinkles. It's really, or you might get just a quick downpour. But usually, sometimes you don't get anything.
No.
So,
but I mean, this can even come to temperatures. You know, you can see you can see a huge swing within temperatures. You may think that, especially as you get into some of the winter months. You know, look at the way we had to pack for Christmas last year.
Yes.
You know, we had to pack for everything from highs of 80s to lows in the 30s and highs in the 30s on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yep.
So, and especially if you're coming down for like a week.
Yeah.
6 to 7 days out is probably not going to be accurate. Now, not like it's going to be July and all of a sudden you're going to get there and be like, I really wish I had brought my, you know, sweatshirt or my hoodie.
Yeah.
But you might want one in the evening.
Right. And it depends.
You know, or in your room.
Right.
So just keep an eye on the weather leading all the way up to it. You know, kind of parts away to maybe beat the heat in the rain is it's really nice to have quick drying clothes or lightweight clothes. You know, it is hot in Florida most of the year. You do not want to be wearing big, heavy, 100% cotton t-shirts. So when you're buying your shirts online, maybe, and you're preparing to come to Disney and you're on your cute little Etsy site, look at what they're made of.
Yeah.
You know, we'd love the Bella Canvas style shirts.
We do.
Talked recently about 32 degrees. Cool. Yep. You know, you can go out to our website now. There's a link right there. You can go purchase them from our website. You know, I'm loving everything they offer. And I've just ordered 3 shirts. I turned them into Main Street Magic shirts so I can wear them this weekend. But you want lightweight clothing. You want stuff that will dry very quickly. We pack very differently.
Yes, we do.
Don't we? So
yes,
there are 2 different ways that adults may pack. A lot of times they're probably going to marry each other, as we did. How do you like to pack for a trip specific to your clothing, your outfits, your attire?
I just go down my line of like, well, first I start with undergarments and I wear sports bras and underwear. I grab like a handful of those. Now with my sports bras, I tend to like try to grab the colors because if you see them outside my shirts, that they match my shirts. But underwear, I'll grab quite a bit just in case I want to change them through the day. And I always feel like I can, and they're tiny, I feel like I can go home with them. It doesn't matter. Then I go next to the outside, which is shorts and shirts. And depending on how many days we're going, I'll grab that many pairs of shorts and maybe an extra one. I'll grab that many shirts depending on where we're going to the parks. And then I will grab, if we're going to go to the pool, I'll grab a bathing suit and a cover up. I will always, if we're staying anywhere like on property in a hotel, if we're not camping, and even then I'll still bring a either light long sleeve or depending on a sweatshirt or a cardigan or something, because I always drop the air really low because I like it cold. So
Yeah. But that's even where those, temperature swings can happen. From it can be 80 during the day and it could be 60 at night. And you might want a little extra something.
Once you get out of summer.
Sure, of course. But again, we're trying to look for year-round packing here. For me, the way I like to pack is just so I don't forget anything is the way my brain works. I'll say, all right, for example, I'll give you how I packed for this weekend, right? We're going to head down on Friday. We're going to Orlando to the Marriott Royal Palms. Kaylin, bringing her boyfriend. And then I know that we're going to go Friday. We're going to go to Disney Springs on Saturday. We're going to hang at the pool Saturday afternoon. We're going to go to brunch on Sunday before we come home. So I have an outfit laid out that I will wear down on Friday.
I haven't even picked that out yet because
this is
we're
why
not
we're so
leaving until...
Well, I know we're not leaving till later than we normally do.
Yeah.
But still, while we were packing today, I went ahead, got my outfit laid out for Friday that I'll wear down with everything that I need. I then go ahead and pack whatever I'm going to sleep in.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I bring... Well, I mean...
Oh, you're saying you forgot to include it.
Yeah, with me, because I just grabbed...
Right.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So then I know that Saturday morning we're going to Disney Springs.
Yes.
So I packed an outfit for specific for that.
Yes,
Underwear,
I do too.
Shorts and a shirt.
Well, I mean...
So I have it, but I have them stacked all together. Then I know we're going to go to the pool, so I packed my bathing suit and everything I need there. I then packed an extra outfit for Saturday evening just in case. I don't know that I want to put on the same one from that morning when we've been out in the hot sun.
100%.
Sunday, I have an outfit to wear to brunch. And then I've packed an entire other full outfit just as an in case.
Huh.
Now, if you're staying DVC, if you're staying like where we're staying, we're going to have a full washer dryer. So you're not in a pinch if you go, oh man, it was real hot at Disney Springs. I sweat. I consider these dirty now. Throw them in the washer dryer, whatever, and go ahead and clean them. Normally, I will bring multiple bathing suits because... let's just say we didn't have a washer and dryer this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow night we get there. We're getting there hopefully around 6:30 or something. We're going to eat some dinner. And then if we want to go hang out in the pool or go to the hot tub, I don't want a wet bathing suit that's been hanging up in a, cold air-conditioned room when we get back from Disney Springs. So I'll often pack 2 bathing suits and all. I didn't this weekend because I can just throw it in the dryer when we get back Friday night or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way. And the way I pack is the way a lot of people pack for their children. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad idea to pre-organize your kids' clothes in either packing cubes or like gallon-sized Ziploc bags. If you're there for a week, it might be a good idea to go, all right, here's kids' outfit for Monday. I'm going to pack it, everything. Underwear, shorts, shirt, whatever it may be, socks. I'm going to pack it in this Ziploc or a little packing cube thing. And on the outside, I'm going to write in Sharpie Monday, Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Tuesday, same another outfit, Magic Kingdom. When you get to the end of that and you've got every day laid out, first of all, it's going to make getting ready in the morning a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
You're not fighting with your kid. You don't have to think about what you're grabbing for them.
That's true.
And that's why I like to be able to just pull an outfit out of my suitcase. Like, I don't want to pack and just say, I'm going to grab 5 shorts and 5 shirts. And then that morning I'm going, well, all right, well, did I get shorts that go with this shirt or because I specifically line up each outfit to make sure that it matches. And I know it's a little crazy, but it works. And in the morning, I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing.
Well,
I'm ready to roll.
You're also not a lady. So depending on what I've eaten, I could feel bigger one day, and then I'm like, I don't want to wear that.
But you could still have an outfit ready to go. I might start putting mine in Ziploc bags and writing Friday.
I
Jeremy
think
goes to Hollywood Studios on it. Shoes are a big one.
Yeah.
First of all, get comfortable shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Lightweight, comfortable shoes.
Yep. Ones that you don't mind being in all day.
All day. And don't be like, oh, I'm going on a Disney trip. I'm going to go buy brand new shoes. Can't wait to wear them at Disney. Break them in.
Yeah.
You will not realize how much a brand new pair of shoes can kill your feet. You think they're brand new. They're great. They're going to be perfect. No, you got to break them in. Yeah. If that means that you buy them 60 days before your trip and you go on a walk every morning in them, go for it. If it means that you just simply go, hey, I'm going to put these on during the day and just try and get a little, whatever.
Right.
Pack multiple shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Not only because it looks better if you match it with your outfits the way I do,
Lord.
but even if you take your favorite pair of shoes, after you walk 20,000 steps in them one day for 10 hours, you are going to hate those shoes by that evening, and you are not going to wear them the next day. It's crazy what a different pair of shoes can do for your feet.
Yeah, but I tend to just wear the same ones. I don't hate
mine. But we don't go like people go. You got to remember that. This is for the people that are walking.
I wear Crocs though now a lot.
We do. Crocs are wonderful in the parks.
They really are.
Now, this is another one though. If at home you tend to wear Crocs and you don't wear socks, like I'm thinking old school Crocs, not necessarily sandals maybe like you do, and you think, oh yeah, I'd throw on my Crocs every day and go to the grocery store and come home. I'd throw them on every day and I walk to the mail or something. That is nothing, again, like 20,000 steps and 10 hours. Nobody's going to care if you wear Crocs with socks. You will save your feet by wearing them that way. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
One thing I don't really have, and then we'll move on to something that'll help you with your Crocs if you don't wear socks, actually. Pack an empty bag, like a collapsible duffel bag or something if you're flying.
Okay.
Because you're going to need a way to get your merchandise home.
Or you can be like Kat and Michael and you can ship it.
You can ship it. Yes, you can. That is also an option, but one of those things to think about budgeting a little bit to ship back, and it's really not awful, but a lot of people will pack a collapsible duffel bag or something to fill with merchandise so they can check it on the way home.
Yep.
Because you'll get stuck buying a very, very expensive Disney suitcase or bag or something instead.
Yeah.
So just kind of something to think about. With first aid, like, stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to get blisters because you wore your Crocs too long. You're going to get blisters because you wore a cute pair of shoes and didn't realize that they're going to kill your feet all day.
Mm-hmm.
We've never used this, but it's highly recommended, is the moleskin.
Mm-hmm. I've never used it.
So pack that.
Okay.
But pack Band-Aids, right?
Mm-hmm. And there are first aids in Disney's parks.
Yes.
You can go to a cast member and say, I need a place, the first aid place, and they'll point you in the right direction. I've had to do that and go get Band-Aids before. Yeah. I don't know what else they have in there, but I would check there first, or unless you just want to go buy it at the stores, because you can.
But you can even go in, you can go into a CVS or, really any pharmacy, and you can buy a ready-to-go little first aid kit that's not going to take up a lot of space. It's going to go in your bag, or put your own together.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and get a little container. Get them from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something. You fill it with Band-Aids, fill it with, some different medicine. Make sure you have antacids on you.
Pain reliever, headache.
Pain relievers. Yep.
Ibuprofen, Tylenol, one of those.
Antibiotic ointments, if need be. Eye drops, cough drops. Again, sometimes you might not be used to the Florida weather or the pollen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always good to have things like that on you. Aloe vera. Ultimately, somebody's going to get sunburn probably. Have aloe vera ready to go. And all these things you can pack and have in your bag. Mm-hmm. And just ready to go, then you don't have to deal with getting them once you're there and going to first aid or things like that. With many of these items, including anything we just mentioned with first aid, including sunscreen and things like that, all of those, when you're doing your vacation grocery delivery order, you can include those in them. And even if, you're on the flight, you're halfway down and you're like, I forgot sunscreen. I can't believe it. We're going to have to spend a fortune when we get there. You maybe already put in your vacation grocery delivery order. Just hit them up, or when your shopper contacts you, because their communication is so good, they'll say, "Is there anything else we can get for you?" That's when you say, "You know what? Can you go ahead and grab me some sunscreen or some aloe vera or Band-Aids or something that I forgot?" Laundry. All of the resorts have laundry facilities.
Mm-hmm.
If you're staying in DVC, like a 1-bedroom. If you're staying at like the Marriott that we are, they're going to have laundry facilities.
In your room.
In your room, yeah.
But the other without DVC,
Yeah, if you're
but
staying in a studio,
you can go and do laundry.
yeah, you can go and do laundry. Now, I believe there's no need to pack quarters anymore. I'm pretty sure they have all been converted to card-based, credit or debit card.
Nice.
But pack dryer sheets, laundry soap, pack a little one of those in your bag. You can get them at the laundry facilities, but I mean, I want to say they're $2 to $3 each. So you could spend $6 for a load of laundry on soap and dryer sheets.
Yeah.
So go ahead and I'd say pack them. You know, if you get a big thing of laundry sheets at home, take a stack of them, put them in a Ziploc bag.
Right. I just started to say that's the way to really save the money.
Yep. How about stain removers? You ever going to need one of those? A little Tide stick or something you think in your
Tide
bag?
pens. Yeah. We need to get some more of those.
I know. They'll go a long way. People are going to spill stuff on their clothes. They're going to sit in chocolate and get it all over their shorts. So make sure you have that type of stuff.
Yep.
So what about traveling? You know, whether you're flying, whether you're driving, what type of things should you be prepared for? And again, I mean, this is not just if you have kids. You can get some cranky adults. You can get some bored adults. Like, what types of things do you always want to travel with?
Snacks and drinks. Games are fun, depending if you want to. My car full of girls just put their AirPods in and listen to music or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so you can try to talk. Or, just, like you said, have your phone and you can watch movies or shows or whatever.
And again, like with the Magic Band Plus, make sure everything's charged. You do have airplanes that might have USB ports in them. You do have a lot of vehicles that have a plug-in, obviously, to charge things.
And do that while you're going. Don't let it die. Just plug it in.
Right. What I'm saying. But charge it the night before. That iPad that little Timmy is going to be on the whole flight or the whole car ride. Make sure it's charged fully the night before. Make sure it's preloaded with, if it's movies or shows, you can't promise that the Wi-Fi on the plane's going to work, or you can't promise that you're going to, if you have cell service for something in your car, it's going to work if you go through dead spots. So make sure that you have all those types of things kind of preloaded and ready. And that'll kind of, sum us up a little bit with the overall technology that you want to make sure you have. Chargers. Have all your chargers.
Yeah.
And for every single person.
Yes.
If you have 4 people in your family with 4 iPhones, bring 4 iPhone chargers and maybe even a spare. Right? What other kind of chargers do you want to make sure are all packed and ready to roll?
Well, your Magic Band chargers, if you, like Jeremy will need to work a lot of times, so his laptop and, anything that's portable, like, if you have a portable fan or anything else, just anything that, can charge. So
yeah. And with that, even saying like, all right, you have all these devices. And I would bring, again, a charger for each of them. And we have a little bag that we have every charger you could imagine in it because we have 3-4 different style chargers that we need.
Yeah. Some of my ears charge. So
yeah, they did. The was it the 50th ears actually? Many ears actually have a charging port, I think. Bricks. Bring your charging bricks. A lot of resorts do have USB built in, but I would bring them. We always have extra bricks in our overnight bag.
Yes.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And we have needed them before. Like we may need them this weekend. We don't know. USB hubs, like we talked about earlier, are great. You can sit there at night, or charging stands. If a lot of people have them at home, but a USB hub is sometimes a little bit easier to pack. Rhonda has one that has 4 or 5 ports on it. So she can pretty much plug in her watch. She can plug in her phone. She can plug in a Magic Band, can plug in
I've even had to plug
AirPods.
yours. Yep. Yeah, but I've had to plug in yours before because somehow, I don't know if we didn't have another brick or what happened, but it was a situation where we had to plug in everything to mine, which then it just goes into one outlet, which is fantastic.
It's a huge space saver in that instance. Instead of you sitting around or you going into a room and going, all right, here's an outlet. It's got 2 ports. All right, well, that's my phone and watch. Oh, here's another outlet. That's my AirPods and my Magic Band. That's only one person has now used 2 entire outlets to charge their 4 devices.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you have those hubs and all. And again, you can get real cheap ones that work perfectly off of Amazon. Make sure you have portable chargers. And again, make sure they're charged.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on your phone constantly, whether you want to or not, using My Disney Experience, booking Genie Plus and Lightning Lanes, checking wait times, mobile order. Have a reliable charger. What's the one that we love that we got off Amazon? Because it's small.
It is. I love it. It's called AINOPE portable charger. I love it because it actually shows the percentage. So it shows 100, and when it starts like losing its power because it's charging something, and it is compatible with your iPhone and an iPad and a Samsung.
Yeah.
So you just have to have
it's going to be compatible with anything because it's got 2 USB ports.
Right.
And then it charges by USB-C.
Correct.
Which it's going to come with. So in this one, we have another one, Anchor, I really like. I'll have to see if they have a smaller. The one we have is huge. Yeah. It's heavy. It works wonders, but it is heavy. I would like to see if they have a smaller portable one, but just find a reliable portable charger. It is a game changer.
Oh, yeah. We bought 2 of them, and right now it's 30% off, so it's $34.99, and if you clip a coupon, you get another $7 off.
I mean, that's outstanding.
Yeah,
go buy them now. Like if you do not have one, not even kidding. I always like to pack in my laptop bag an HDMI cable.
What for?
The in-room TVs are wonderful, and they've got a lot of entertainment built in.
Yeah,
but a lot of times, some of them have where you can connect to Netflix or YouTube. It honestly rarely works. So if you want to watch something outside of Disney, and they don't even have Disney Plus built in, which still baffles my mind. Why wouldn't they have a free trial for Disney Plus while you're there to sell you on Disney Plus if you don't have it? So what they do have is they have a built-in library of Disney movies, but it's not going to have everything you want.
Right.
I get that a lot of people will say, "Why are you sitting around your in your room watching TV?"
I just started to
what?
say.
It's going to happen. You're going to wake up in the mornings while you're getting ready and kids are going to be restless or something. You're going to have a long park day and get back to your room at night. Maybe you get back earlier than you thought and you think, let's just wind down and watch a movie. You can't get everything through the in-room TV. So HDMI cable, you can go ahead and hook it to a laptop if you have one. Or you can pack a Fire Stick, a Chromecast. You can plug those into the HDMI port and then you can go ahead and stream. Honestly, a lot easier than it is connecting to the in-room if it has Netflix or anything like that. We've never been successful with it. So we always just we've plugged in my laptop.
Yeah,
I've used it for sports before.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to pull a Duke game up on my laptop and then just plug it right into the TV. Yeah. What is one thing that we cannot live without while we sleep? And if you're this way, make sure you pack one of these.
A sound machine.
Yeah.
But a lot of times Jeremy just uses his phone. They have apps and stuff like that now. You washed my sound machine.
I did.
So I don't know why we even have one.
I don't know how it ended up in the washing machine. It was within our laundry of clothes that I just picked up, much like the way that Kaylin washed one of her Crocs.
No, dried
one of her Crocs. That's right. And it shrunk significantly.
Yep.
It is true. People say don't leave them in your car or out in the heat because they'll shrink. They're 100% correct because it shrunk in the dryer.
Yes.
Finally, we'll kind of sum it up a little bit. And again, this might come a little bit more for kids and things like that, is nightlight. If you need something like that in your room, I would bring a nightlight and pack something like that. And especially, you're in an unfamiliar place. Sometimes you need that little bit of extra light at night, or anything additional that helps you sleep. If you have the luxury of us that are driving, we have certain pillows we like to take. We have a body pillow I like to take. I have a sleep mask. Those are the types of things you do not want to forget if you're able to go ahead and bring those and pack them. I know it's a little more difficult flying, but you want to be as comfortable as you can during your entire trip. So
absolutely.
Hopefully this was helpful. I know a lot of this is obvious, but we hope there's more tips and tricks that maybe you're able to pick up on because you want to get to Disney, you want to get to your Universal trip, whatever it may be, and you want to be able to enjoy it let's say this, you want to be able to not worry about these things. There's going to be plenty else to worry about.
Oh, 100%.
Making sure everybody gets up on time and gets to your rope drop that you want, making sure you get to your lightning lane, making sure you secure your virtual queue. There's going to be plenty to worry about. You don't want to worry that you forgot an iPhone cable and now you can't find where to buy one in a park because they are few and far between.
They are, but you can also get, and if especially in Orlando, you can order Amazon, and sometimes because of where you're located in Disney, you can get same day.
You can, yeah.
And we have totally done that.
We have.
So don't forget that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and again, but use that as a backup.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to this episode and go ahead and, create yourself a checklist of the items that you need, because not everybody's going to want to use a spritzing fan or whatever it may be.
Right.
But, create a checklist of the items that are most important to you. It doesn't hurt to start packing too early. It doesn't hurt to have a staging area in your home to start putting things aside. After listening to or doing this episode, I'm kind of like, what do we forget for this weekend? I know we got tomorrow still, but
we always get in the car.
Go look around. I know.
And we're like, what do we forget?
Yeah. And we don't want this to be you, because our response, and it's jokingly, is always, if we forgot something, we'll buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you don't want to have to do that.
No.
So go ahead, get your packing list in order, pack your stuff ahead of time, be ready to go, and it'll make your trip that much better.
It will.
So thank you all so much for listening. We truly appreciate it. If you want to follow along with our adventures, we've got a lot of them coming up. You can check out our Patreon group at wonderlandcrew.com. If you want to get some comfy shirts with some cool designs, you can check out mainstreetshirts.com. We have a bunch up for sale there. We have some cool new designs coming soon that I'm very, very excited about. And then, go ahead and hit subscribe. You get the brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And as long as you're out there, we'd be super duper thankful if you could leave us a rating and review,
because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.